it takes a certain level of obsession to be good in something or to be known for something.
I did a subathon stream for my birthday, and I ended up streaming for more than 24 hours. And I guess I was really touched by all of the people who stayed for the entire duration of my stream.
Mine didn't last as long as Paris did because she's kind of insane. She's like
This podcast was brought to you by Gank, the content membership platform that helps creators accept donations, manage memberships, and sell merchandise for free. Enjoy!
So now that we know that they're still besties, let's get into the nitty-gritty questions all about your stories as content creators / streamers. And yeah, I want to dive into that more. Why did you start streaming, and is this something you want to do for the rest of your life? Can I ask Janelle first, and then Paru can go next?
So first of all, I super love streaming. It's one of my favorite things to do ever. And I started streaming because I would play games ever since I was really young. So I would play with my brother, I play alone. I already played League of Legends even before I started streaming. So I'm 8 to 9 years of League of Legends now. And so I would meet friends online and everything. And they would start streaming when the pandemic hit. And then they were like, no, Janelle, you would fit streaming a lot because I'm very talkative and I'm super, I have huge reactions even when I'm not on stream.
Yeah.
So my friends were like, you should try streaming. And for 2 months, I was in denial. I was like, no, never. I would never start streaming. I'm a business student. I'm gonna go out and work corporate. I would never do silly things like streaming. And then fast forward 2 months later, streaming became my absolute life. After 1 week, I was so obsessed with streaming, and I haven't stopped streaming ever since. But yeah, I really love streaming and gaming and connecting with people. I feel like that's the best part. Live streaming hits different because you get to talk to people in real time, and you really feel a stronger connection and your community building. So that's why I love streaming.
Okay, so why did I start streaming? So yeah, it was before the pandemic even. So I remember I was at a computer shop near my university. It was finals week for me, and I was cramming. And I saw this girl a few PCs away from me, and she was streaming in the computer shop. And then I remember thinking oh man, I wish I could do that. I wish I could just play League and then stream and talk to people instead of all this ACADs stressing me out. And then a few months after that, I got the opportunity to actually stream as a job. It was a full-time job. And then so I ended up taking that, and then I just really loved it. So I know that my start at streaming is a bit different from other people's who just kind of started by themselves at home. But then I feel because I first saw it as a job, I got very, very, very into all the aspects of it. And as for if it's something I want to do for the rest of my life, I don't know if I'll stream for the rest of my life, but I think I want to be involved in gaming for the rest of my life, if that makes sense, one way or another.
Aww.
Also, side note, that girl that I saw was Kitskua.
Oh, hi.
I met her. Yeah.
Shout out to Kids Kua.
Yeah.
If you're
Before
watching.
I met her, I just saw her randomly, and I was like, oh, I want to be like her.
Cute. I love that this all just starts with something you're really passionate with. All of us, I've talked to a bunch of streamers before. It's really the common denominator. We just love gaming. Yeah. There's no other way to put it. It's not because, they enjoy talking to people, making connections like you mentioned, but that's not the main reason why we start all of this. It's because it's our passion for games. I related to what you said also earlier, that you play games with your brother and your friends would say that your reactions are so funny. I got that same thing.
Reactions.
I got that same thing from my brother when he would watch me play video games on my consoles way back, and it'd be so funny because he would react to my reactions. And then it turns out people do that for a living. People are
Yeah.
entertained by people reacting to the games that we just love. And isn't that so cool? Like, that's what one of the cool parts about content creation or streaming in general is that you guys have a common hobby, common interest, and you're all just geeking over the same thing. And that's so cool. Yeah.
Us playing TFT till 5 a.m. in the morning. I
Yeah.
also want to add to the thing you mentioned, like it starts with your passion for like gaming, at least for us. I also, we've been here for a while now on Twitch, so we've seen like a lot of streamers come and go. And I think at least in the Philippines, it's really hard to think of doing streaming long term if you don't have a passion for like gaming or streaming or content. Because like a lot of people go in and they see the big streamers, they're like, oh, they're so rich. Like, I want to earn as much money as them. And like,
It's not about the money though, right?
yeah, because like honestly, it's not as easy as if you would just start a job outside of streaming. It's really hard, and it's not even like sometimes you put a lot of effort towards something and it doesn't grow the way you want it to. So one of the things that really keep people in this industry is like the passion, as you mentioned.
It's not that you can't have a living from streaming or content creation, but that happens eventually after you put
Yeah.
all the hard work in. It's not luck. It's not because she's lucky and I don't get all these opportunities and she does. No, it's because she worked hard on this career that she wanted to pursue. It works the same way for anything, actually. So yeah, that was really nice to hear. So since we're talking about streaming already and whether or not this is something you want to do for the rest of your life, that's okay. That's totally fine if this isn't what you want to do for the rest of your life. But was there something that was very memorable? Did something make a mark in your life thanks to being a streamer? What's that most memorable thing that happened to you?
Okay, I have like two answers for this. One of them was when I attended a really big convention last year. So that was like the first IRL event that a lot of people went to after the pandemic. And I had the opportunity to meet a lot of my viewers in person for the first time. I guess it was just really memorable and touching to me because I didn't really have a lot of time during the convention because I was working on, I was hosting like another event there. I was hosting like a meet and greet there. So I only had like short like intervals to meet people, and then I would really see like my community and my regulars like crowding outside of where I was supposed to work, and they would like waited for me and all of that. And I think it's just that like, so like I mentioned, I was hosting the meet and greets in that convention, so there were like some international guests that came by, and then I would see like the fans meet them and they would be like so happy and so touched. And then when I saw like my community kind of approaching me the same way, I was like, wait, so do you mean you are a fan of me?
Aww.
That was just so crazy. And yeah, it was really memorable and touching. You know, they would tell me that I made a difference in their lives and I helped them a lot out through the pandemic, even though I'm just a girl playing video games by myself. It was just a realization that happened in real life. And then the other moment would have to be my not recent, but like my subathon last year. I did a subathon stream for my birthday, and I ended up streaming for more than 24 hours. And I guess I was really touched by all of the people who stayed for the entire duration of my stream. Like, I had some mods who were staying up as long as I was because they kind of see the subathon as like a group event, like a group party. And then I don't know, I just felt like, wow, these people are really invested in my stream, like almost as much as I am. I think the parts of streaming that really stand out to me the most, although I got into it for my passion for gaming, it's still community stuff.
All right. Before I react, your turn, Janelle.
This is such a hard question for me because like I feel like the things I enjoy about streaming are not particular moments, although similar to Paru, if I were to, it would be like when I was at the convention and people would intentionally go and look for me, and it's like, you came here for me, like you went to this convention and you searched the entire convention looking for me. It was like really nice to see myself make an impact on other people's lives, and that people would line up to like talk to me, and I was giving out photo cards that time, so that was really fun. And then also the subathon, although mine didn't last as long as Paris did because she's kind of insane. She's like I had the subathon also on my birthday, and it's really like, I agree that it's so nice to see everyone celebrate things with you and see that they care about the same things you care about, and you really form like this community. And I feel like we also both agree on this other thing, that for me, if I were to quit streaming, the thing that I would remember is just the experience that streaming has brought me. I'm in such a different path in my life because of streaming. Like, I've met so many different friends. I've had so many different opportunities. Like, I've got to meet a lot of gamers and game devs and brands, and all of this, like my whole setup is just gifted to me by my community. Everything would not be here if I was not streaming. So it's like so hard to imagine like what my life would have been without streaming.
Yeah, like it's not easy to be a streamer, but I feel like there aren't a lot of career paths or like jobs that you can find in which you'll experience the same type of like love and support that streamers get from their communities.
Wow, that's really aw. I made an aw face many times with your stories, but yeah, I totally feel you guys. Especially when it comes to the conventions, this is something I can relate with what you guys are saying. Even if we do different things, it takes a certain level of obsession to be good in something or to be known for something. Because if Paru didn't have that obsession, she wouldn't be streaming 24 hours for her subathon, right? So that's really something to take from these types of creators, from these streamers. If you guys are watching and you're aspiring to be a content creator slash streamer or whatever, you need to have that drive and not look back. If you're decided on what you want to do, do it. So yeah, because eventually your fans, your audience, they're gonna catch on to that passion. They're gonna get this some sort of contagious inspiration from you because they just get that energy from you, and I want to be like that too. And it's an endless cycle, domino effect of inspiration. So yeah, I really hope that this interview inspires a lot of new creators coming. I know a lot of you are interested in these types of content and topics. So yeah, to continue with something like, since we're getting a little bit deeper into this, into streaming and content creation, what exactly are some struggles of being a streamer? Can you share what struggles you go through? And regarding these struggles, what's your advice for aspiring streamers or content creators?
I think one of the things I really had to wrap my head around in streaming is that unlike a lot of other things where you put in effort and then you expect some sort of return. So for example, if I study for a test, I'll get a good grade in return. For streaming and content, it's not that linear. So it's not like I put in one hour of effort and I will get like this amount of views, right? It's always like you have to give in a lot and you have to hope that like the viewers will receive it well. And then there's a lot of variables that you have to look into, like what do my audience like? What do I like? Like what are the things that, a lot of the things that we study in order to really entertain people with our content and be like the best of ourselves that we can be. So yeah, it's really, the struggle is really like putting a lot of effort into something and seeing it like sometimes it doesn't pop off immediately and sometimes it doesn't even pop off at all, and I'm just being real here. But like obviously on the contrary, like there will be some things that you will find yourself putting a lot of effort in, and then it does pop up, and it's like the best feeling ever because it's like something that you really like, that you enjoy doing, and then you see everyone receive it well, and it's like it feels like the best thing ever. But my advice for aspiring streamers is, if you do it with your main goal being earning money, you're really not gonna last long, because you're gonna see that there are a lot of other ways that you can earn money in, if it's just earning money that you think about, right? Another advice that I think helps a lot of people when they ask me for advice is just start, and then you figure things out along the way. So Paru and I have been streaming for quite long, as you have seen in our earlier answers of how long we've been streaming. I've been streaming for 3 years, and she's been streaming for 5 years. And there's still a lot of things that we're still learning every day. And if we waited till like a perfect moment, or for us to know everything before we started streaming, then we wouldn't be here. There's a lot of things that you're gonna learn along the way, and you wouldn't be able to learn it unless you actually do it, or unless you actually make the mistakes. That's my advice.
It's so motivational. I feel so motivated. Okay, so for the struggles of being a streamer, so this is something that I personally struggle with a lot, and I think a lot of people do as well. Because I think we all know how important being consistent is when it comes to streaming. And I'm really not the most organized and consistent person. I'm probably like the least organized and consistent person in the world.
She's still pretty organized, guys.
Yeah, so I think it's finding the balance of like being able to add streaming consistently into your life, because I feel like it is important, like for posting content, for going live. I think one of the ways that you get regulars is to become part of their routine. So if that happens, it's got to be part of your routine as well. But balancing consistency and taking care of yourself, I think, is the struggle, because burnout is so real, and you have to be able to like see the signs for when you might be pushing yourself too hard, because people who are very passionate, like us, we tend to kind of push ourselves too hard sometimes in trying to pursue our goals or trying to make things meet our standards for ourselves, but then it can actually be not productive if you push yourself too hard. So I think that's the main thing that I struggle with. It's like finding that balance between consistency and taking care of yourself. So for my advice for aspiring streamers would be to, keep your eye out for those like early on. And the biggest thing is to try to study yourself, like try to get to know yourself. Like as you stream and learn about like streaming and gaming and social media and talking to people, and maybe even like talking to brands and sponsors, like the best thing you can do is like see it as like a way to get to know yourself too. Know your strengths, know your weaknesses, know the things you like, know what you don't like, and know what your audience might like, and know what type of audience you want in the first place. And every time you get out of your comfort zone and try something new, you have to like kind of take the time to evaluate as well. Like, how did that go? Did I like that step out of my comfort zone? Can I see myself doing that? Just do a lot of like self-evaluation and introspection. And I think that can help you a lot, especially when you're maybe not an aspiring content creator. Maybe you're already a content creator, but you find yourself a bit lost sometimes. I think that can really help.
All right.
Oh my gosh, I love
These
that
two.
so much. Advice from a Twitch fossil.
Advice 101. I love it. I think a way to summarize what some points you've both mentioned. Both of you were talking about stuff that are kind of relevant to analytics or even the algorithm, because you don't know which type of content will pop off and actually be successful. And that's part of it. The thing is about any type of thing you release, whether it's a business or a content or art, the thing is you don't know if it's gonna be successful, and you're gonna fail a few times here and there. But part of that failure is what's gonna grow the bigger picture, you know what I mean? And that's why you should never give up. So if you get like, I don't know, 1 view on a video, that's fine. You can just private it and then make a new one. I mean, the internet's not gonna cancel you.
Right.
It's
Don't be
not.
afraid to like just put yourself out there and learn, because we're really all just learning, and learning about like the algorithm and yourself. It's so important. Different types of content pop up in different ways and at different times.
Yeah.
So it's really like, if you keep trying to do what other people are doing, or just doing what's popping off just because you think that's what you would make you pop off, it's not gonna work, because it takes a lot of like knowing yourself. People can see through it, you know, like that's why it's so important to take care of yourself and to know yourself, because if you stream with no energy, or you stream with like a bad mood or something, like you didn't rest, people are gonna see it, and it's not gonna be helpful to you or your brand as if you just rested and have like paid attention to yourself more.
So yeah, thank you so much for sharing your advice. I'm sure our audience will really appreciate that, regardless, like you said, whether they are veterans, whether they are long-time content creators already, or aspiring content creators. All of us experience burnout. All of us experience, like self-doubt every now and then. This is all part of the package, and that's why you should get more in touch with yourself and your community. So yeah, thank you so much for those answers. So now let's talk a little bit more about the platform. I want to ask you what convinced the two of you to share your story here with us on Gank, and what are your thoughts on Gank as a platform?
I've known about Gank since before, and I feel like they're more creator centric than other platforms. So I know that they give payouts without a threshold. Like if you earn certain amount of money, they really just give it to you, instead of like versus other platforms that you need to reach a certain threshold, like $100 before you can cash out. In Gank, as a small creator, you can already reap like the benefits from the platform and your hard work, and also like localizing it to C, or for us the Philippines, because we use Gcash, and Gank supports that. So I feel like Gank is really making moves towards being a creator-centric platform, which is why I feel like they're doing the right thing. They just know what they're doing.
Well, I wanted to share my story because, it sounded like a lot of fun. It sounded like a lot of fun to just like, be interviewed with Janelle and stuff. But I've been on Gank for a few years now. I think I started on Gank when it was mostly just a platform for like the game pal aspect, like playing games.
Yeah.
With a gamer, because I know you're not necessarily a content creator back then, but yeah, now Gank has really evolved to be more of like a content creator platform. I think there's even like a community aspect of it. Like I know some people who like stay on Gank and then follow a lot of people. They have like their own news feed. I really like the tools, the content creation tools that Gank has been adding at like quite a fast pace recently. My thoughts as a whole, like on Gank as a platform, is just it's a pretty handy tool for content creators, and I hope to see it grow more.
All right, thank you for sharing your thoughts about Gank. By the time that I heard about Gank, it was the phase when they were inviting different types of creators already. So they were trying to invite cosplayers, and one of those people was our cosplay group, New Game Plus, and we did this entire collaboration with them. We made a Valorant cosplay music video. The fact that Gank actually connects with creators to do all these big projects and just make content creation possible, that really blew my mind at the time. This thing, it's actually possible even in our region, like Southeast Asia. It's actually possible. You don't have to be from America to be a successful streamer or cosplayer. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on the platform. Do you have any special plans or content to release on Gank maybe you can invite your fans to support this or support you on the platform?
I just recently opened my memberships on Gank, and the content that I plan on posting for like members only exclusive, it's actually for my new hobby that I started recently too. I got like this old camcorder, and I've been like recording like random parts of my life, like traveling or just like my daily life, and I plan to just like make little snippets of like this old retro style like videos and post that for the people who become my members. So check that out if you're interested in that sort of thing. Thank you.
That's so cool. So yeah, I hope you guys look forward to Paru's membership content and those vlogs with the camcorder special touch soon on Gank. But yeah, maybe eventually Janelle would also wanna have a Gank account, and you should definitely support her as well because she's also a creative human being. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. Is there anything you want to share or promote to your audience or followers?
Watch us on Twitch.
Yeah.
Watch us on YouTube.
On YouTube. Or like
Instagram.
Twitter,
Thread,
TikTok.
All of the above.
Yeah.
Just watch us. Stalk us.
Stalk us. Like our stuff. Comment. We love playing League of Legends, but we play other games too. Even though we talk a lot about the League, we play like Star Rail. We also play Valorant sometimes. We like to try out different types of games, so like Minecraft, all those things. We just want to have fun.
Okay, so can you give a shout out to your fans? Do you have a name for your fan base or something?
Oh, this is my most dreaded question.
I was gonna say you
have
go
one?
first. I call my community Paru Inc. So we're a company,
Oh,
and I'm the
gosh.
CEO. They are my unpaid workers. Shout out to
think-
Paru Inc.
I'm also part of Paru Inc.
You're also an unpaid worker. Below minimum wage.
My fans or like my viewer, my community, from now on, I decide now because it's always been like a long battle of what it should be. You don't have to hear the types of names they suggest because but I think they will be called jellies. So yeah, because I'm Janelle Ace, and in the Philippines there's this candy called Jelly Ace, and Ace is like, you know, if you're an ace, it means you're like good at things. I like to think that I could be good at a lot of things. So I named myself Janelle Ace because mine's Janelle. So my community are my jellies.
Oh, that's cute.
That's so cute.
There you have it, our exclusive interview with the besties, Janelle and Paru. I hope you guys learned a lot and were entertained by this fun best friend game / interview episode, our very first ever for this season. So yay! I hope you stick around and follow all of their socials, watch them on Twitch, and stay tuned for their Gank content because they're super cool and creative as well. So yeah, we hope you subscribe and stay tuned for more episodes like this one for more content creator advice and tips on Gank. Thank you so much, guys. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye bye.